Hey, what's going on, you guys? My name is the Raptor, and welcome to the Season 6 mid-season finale of Who'd Win and Why. And this time we got a battle royale between the three movie Batmen. We got Michael Keaton Batman going up against Christian Bale Batman, going up against Ben Affleck Batman. Now before I move on, I just want to clear up a few things, because I'm sure a lot of you guys have some questions about this fight, so let me just clear up a few things about that. So the first thing, is there going to be any prep time in this fight? Now honestly, if I was ever to give any of the combatants in Who'd Win and Why prep time ever, this probably would be the fight to do it, since Batman is shining most when he has prep time. However, just like any other regular episode of Who'd Win and Why, prep time is just never included. I don't want to do it because, it seems really weird because, they're all Batman and they all prepare, really well, and I think it'd just be more interesting if they all just came, as a random encounter, a three-way. And also, it's just, if I did do this, then people would be, asking me for, prep time specific fights, and I don't want that happening because, like I said, prep time is not a part of Who'd Win and Why, just like it's not a part of Death Battle. So yeah, so there's no, there's gonna be no prep time in this fight. Another thing is, are they gonna be using, their Batmobiles? I've decided no, they're not gonna be doing it, because I just want to see, this is to determine, who would win just between, physically, who would actually win in a fight if all three of them were, I don't know, if they were somewhere else on a desert island or something and they were all fighting. The point is, the Batmobile I don't want to have be a factor, because that could easily change stuff depending on which Batmobile just has the best performance. So yeah, I'm not going to be using the Batmobiles either. Also, if you guys didn't pick it up, as I said, we're using Michael Keaton Batman. I'm not going to be including the feats from Batman Forever and Batman and Robin, because they did switch actors. I think they are still supposed to be in one universe, it's supposed to be the same Batman, but we can even see that the Batmen are operating differently. Val Kilmer and George Clooney, I believe those are their names. They seem to act differently, they seem to operate a bit differently, so I just don't really see them as the same Batman. Plus, I haven't even seen those movies because I've heard they're pretty bad. So I'm only going to be using what Michael Keaton has done, from the first two original Batman movies. And lastly, no, Ben Affleck is not going to be using his Superman fighting suit, because first of all, I feel that would be a bit unfair, and second of all, if he was to use it, I think that it would require prep time for him to actually get a hold of it and use it in this fight. He's going to be using what he generally sticks to with it, which is his regular bat suit. And also, before I move on, I just want to say, stay to the end of the video, because there is something important that I want to say at the end of the video, so make sure you guys do that, or at least stay to, the near end of the video, because there is something I need to say, but I'll save that for the end. Another thing, so with, just like how I did the Spider-Man movie Battle Royale, or kind of a bit differently, but basically what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to go category by category, figure out who wins each category, and then pretty much summarize everything at the end. And the reason why I'm doing that is, and not going, over each character individually, is because I feel like if I'm comparing everything, I can still give a lot of information, especially since they're all the same character, and I feel that if I did give information on each individual one, it would become more evident as I went on, and I wouldn't even really need to have a big conclusion section, just because, oh, I could say this one could do this, but this one, his strength level is this, or whatever, and it would become more evident who would win, even before I get into the conclusion section. So I'm just gonna go category by category, and then summarize everything, and plus you guys will learn things along the way as I do it, but you'll learn, what each one of their strength levels is, and speed, and everything like that. So yeah, that's what I'm gonna do. But anyway, let's hop right into it. This is a pretty close fight, and yeah, I'm excited. So, who'd win and why? Let's find out. So first, first category's up, which is strength. Now, strength, obviously all of them have a pretty high level of strength. All of them are supposed to be the physically fit human, peak physical condition. So they all have a high level of strength, don't get me wrong. However, one level of strength clearly stands out. I personally believe that Ben Affleck would take the strength advantage. He definitely has an advantage in strength. And you guys don't have to agree with me, but let me just explain why before you guys start doing everything. We haven't seen a lot of Michael Keaton when it comes to strength. He definitely doesn't use his strength as much as the other two Batmen, because they generally like to use their fists a lot more than any of the other gadgets they have, whereas Michael Keaton is more so used he more so uses his gadgets and fear as intimidation and stealth. That's generally where he operates. And in fact, the first Batman movie, it was more so Joker's story than Batman. Joker, I believe, Jack Nicholson, I believe he got more screen time than Michael Keaton did. So that definitely proves he doesn't have a lot of experience when he's using using his fists. However, when we compare it to the other two, they use their fists a lot more. However, between the two, it's kind of clear who has the strength advantage. When it comes to Christian Bale, Christian Bale, he is punching extremely hard, and he can knock a lot of people out with just one punch. Sometimes that doesn't always happen, especially when we compare to someone like Bane, but definitely, he is pretty strong. However, when we look at the warehouse scene of Batman v Superman, that, like, Batman is, like, he's making sure that these guys do not get up. Like, he's killing a lot of people, just by, like, slamming them into the ground or slamming them into a wall, like, he's doing it, and, like, blood's coming out, like, when he gets slammed into a wall, blood's coming out of the people's heads, and he's doing it, like, so quickly, but we'll get into that later. But yeah, he's basically, like, he's killing people, and he has the strength to do it. And even though this Batman is older, meaning he might, like, some people might say that he's a bit weaker, he's had a lot of experience using his fists, and he's probably been, like, getting up to peak physical condition, more and more, he's had a lot more time to improve his physical condition. And, he just seems to be able to use his strength more effectively. He's doing, I know it is still to regular people, but Christian Bale is doing it to regular people as well, but he's more so just seems to knock them out. Whereas with Ben Affleck, he's making sure that they don't get up, and he's doing it, like, remember when he punched the guy's head, like, this guy, like, freaking, like, turned upside down and landed on his head, and that's something that I don't believe we've ever seen either of the other two Batmen do. So definitely when it comes to strength, I would definitely give that point to Ben Affleck Batman. When it comes to speed, honestly, I'm not sure, like, if any of you want to argue this point, I guess you can, but I'm not sure why anyone would, because it is kind of clear, even with the naked eye, who takes this point. Ben Affleck is definitely much faster, and you don't need to look any further than the warehouse scene. This guy is going from human to human, like those bad guys. He's going from person to person extremely quickly, and he's like elbowing one guy and then punching another guy, and he's doing it extremely fast and extremely hard, and he's dodging a lot of their attacks, and he's just so fast moving around, like going from villain to villain. You guys know what I mean, right? Like, you've seen the movie. Maybe, who knows? But anyway, when it comes to Christian Bale and Michael Keaton, they don't seem to have the speed that Ben Affleck does. When it compared to Christian Bale is still fighting a lot of people, but he's not doing it all too quickly. He seems to be, like, especially, like, the suit that he's in, it sacrifices so much speed, for like, extra durability. It sacrifices so much speed. He's moving pretty slow, especially in that fight between, like, the first fight between Bane and Batman in The Dark Knight Rises. He's going extremely slow. Both Bane and Batman are going pretty slow, but we know that, like, he's just going, like, he's going extremely slow, whereas, like, Ben Affleck is going all over the place. And Michael Keaton can't really move a lot in his suit. I believe, like, he wasn't even able to turn his head in the original Batman suit. So yeah, definitely Michael Keaton and Christian Bale, they don't have the speed to keep up with Ben Affleck. He's just going from person to person, knocking them out extremely quickly, and he's just moving around extremely quickly. Like, again, with the naked eye, you can clearly tell that that Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton, with their durable suits, they sacrifice so much speed, whereas Ben Affleck, he's moving extremely quickly in his suit. So speed, definitely definitely Ben Affleck. When it comes to durability, this one may surprise some of you, but I'm actually going to give the durability section to Michael Keaton. Here's why. Christian Bale, some of you guys, again, you may be surprised by this, but Christian Bale actually doesn't have that much of a durable suit. I know that in the original source material, Batman's suit can survive knives and gunfire, but when it comes to Christian Bale's suit, it doesn't actually do that all too well. When it comes, like, I believe in The Dark Knight, Two-Face actually shot Batman, and I'm not sure if the bullet actually went through the suit, because he didn't die from it, but it at least, like, made him go back, and I think maybe even fall onto the floor. So the point is, it's not completely resistant to bullets. And even if that's not enough proof for you, we saw that in The Dark Knight Rises, Bane was able to punch the suit, punch the cowl, and he was able to make it break. And, you know, I know that he's not more powerful than a gun, like, because he's only at peak physical condition. Like, he's strong, but he's not, like, bullet and knife strong. When you compare it to Ben Affleck apparently has, like, a titanium understructure around the cowl, so, you know, and we've even seen that, like, with like, I think there were, like, even guns at point-blank range to his head, and knives, and they're slicing, but it has no effect. However, the gray parts, like, the gray areas of his suit, it seems to be more padded, and while it might do some good against bullets, it wouldn't do as well, obviously, as the darker parts of his suit, you know, like the gauntlets and the cowl. However, when it comes to Michael Keaton, he seems to have, like, a completely bulletproof suit all the way around. Like, I believe he survived, like, 4 bullets to the chest and was able to keep going. He got, like, right back up from it. And also, I believe he fell, like, 5 stories and he was able to get back up from it. That armor can take a lot. Probably more than, like, whether it can survive, like, a bullet, like, point blank, that's a bit debatable, although it does seem to be completely bulletproof. And it definitely, like I said, it's more it surrounds all of him except for the mouth part, but like where the armor is, that's where the bulletproof metal is. And with Ben Affleck, as I've said before, that's not the entire suit. It doesn't seem to cover the entire suit, the darker parts. Well, definitely not the darker parts, but the darker parts are the more durable parts. And as I've said with Christian Bale, it just doesn't stack up. He doesn't seem to be completely bulletproof. And he can just, like, the more durable parts, like the cowl, can break just by Bane punching it. Which, again, is, like, he's just a physically fit human. I know it's not the same as the original source material, but that's because apparently the Dark Knight universe is more grounded, it's more realistic, so there are no, like, third-party substances, like the drugs, the steroids. So, yeah, definitely for durability, I'd probably have to give that to Michael Keaton, though I think that's a closer category than some of the others that we've had. When it comes to fighting skill, this one's the one where I'm not even sure if I can give this to, like, a real, if I can give a real point for this one, because all of them are extremely skilled. When it comes to Michael Keaton, apparently the Michael Keaton Batman has confirmed to know every single martial art, just like the original source material. And when it comes to Christian Bale, you know, he's trained with the League of Assassins, you know, from Batman Begins, and he is an extremely solid fighter, although actually when it seems that he's actually fighting, he doesn't seem to use that many martial arts. Part of that is just because how slow he's moving, but he seems to be fighting in more of like a Captain America type way, like boxing, you know, like just when he does like a straight punch, and maybe like some kicks, you know, like when he's holding an enemy, but like other than that, he doesn't seem to really use a lot of his martial arts. I know he did when he fought Ra's al Ghul, but after that he didn't really use it as much, and I'm probably downplaying him a bit. He probably does have a lot of martial arts training, and when it comes to Ben Affleck Batman, like, he is extremely fast. I'm not even sure what kind of martial art he was using, but he was moving extremely fast, so he is extremely skilled when it comes to fighting, whether he knows every single martial art or not. But assuming that we're sticking to the original source material, that he is still a martial artist, remember that this is still a Batman that has lived for, like, the longest. He's like in his his mid to late 40s, which again is still pretty old, but as I've said, you know, he's old. Like, apparently age doesn't mean nothing for the guy, because he can, like, punch and move really, really well. But the point is, I'm not really sure who I can give this fighting skill point to, because all of them are really good when it comes to fighting. You know, Ben Affleck, he's still moving around. Whether he knows martial arts or not, he's still moving around quickly and, you know, like, killing people. When it comes to Christian Bale, he has fought Ra's al Ghul before. Ra's al Ghul, whatever. And then with Michael Keaton, apparently, see, the thing about Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck is, sorry, not Ben Affleck, Christian Bale, is that both of them, they have, like, really heavy suits, so they can't really move that much around in it. So, you know, even though they do know a lot of martial arts, it's hard to say, like, how effectively they can really use them. But again, I'm not really sure who I can give this point to, so, you know, all of them are good at martial arts, all of them are really good at fighting. When it comes to versatility, that one definitely goes to Michael Keaton. Michael Keaton is seen using more gadgets than any of the other two Batmen. He's using batarangs, he's using his smoke pellets, you know, when he, like, disappears. He has his grapple gun, his bat claw, he has, what else does he have? He has, like, a line launcher, he has this, like, glider thing that he can, like, you know, glide across the air, and I believe even more than that as well. I don't remember, like, does Christian Bale have that as well? He might, but the point is, Christian Bale nor Ben Affleck have the the gadgets to compete with that. When it comes to Ben Affleck, he might have some batarangs. I'm not even sure, but again, he likes to generally just get in there and fight. So I'm not exactly sure what he really has in his utility belt. But he does have a grapple gun. You know, his grapple gun seems to be a bit better than Christian Bale's, as it can pull him like very quickly away from Doomsday's blasts, whereas Christian Bale seemed to be struggling to lift him up to carry his weight. So, but again, that's not really the point. Whether we can go like back and forth about whose grapple gun is better, but the point is, Christian Bale, like, he doesn't really use a lot of gadgets, and neither does Ben Affleck. They like to go in just with their fists, and they might have some gadgets with them, but like this Michael Keaton Batman is more so like a what am I even going at? This Michael Keaton Batman is more so like true to the comics. I don't completely want to say that, but you guys get what I'm saying. You know, like he uses a lot more gadgets than Ben Affleck and Christian Bale do. When it comes to smarts/detective skill, I want to say Christian Bale. But at the same time, I don't really want to, because Christian Bale, he seems to like be a better detective, at least from what we've seen. I'm not sure if you remember, but in The Dark Knight, I believe he cuts out like a piece of a wall that had a bullet through it, and then tries to like replicate the bullet or something. And that's something that's like insane. Like, that really shows that like he's a great detective if he actually has the technology and like the smarts to actually think of that. When it comes to Ben Affleck, I think the best thing this is probably just due to the movie's script or due to the fact that he doesn't have a lot of screen time yet. But at the moment, Ben Affleck can really own, like, we've seen him decrypt something, which like it's impressive. It's definitely impressive, but it's not as creative as what Christian Bale did. And then with Michael Keaton, honestly, I don't believe we've really seen him do that much detective work, at least nothing that really stands out. Or maybe I just haven't watched the movies in a while. But again, it probably doesn't stack up to the fact that Christian Bale took out a piece of the wall. And the reason why I don't want to give it to him is just because Ben Affleck has actually, like, we haven't seen him do it, doesn't mean he can't do it. You know, Ben Affleck has still been credited as saying, like, he's the world's greatest detective. All of them have. But Ben Affleck is the oldest. You know, he's been around longer. Decrypting is probably just something that, like, it was just easy for him. So while on screen it looks like that Christian Bale does have the advantage, I do believe that in future films we will see Ben Affleck use more of his detective skill to his advantage. But at this point, I probably have to give a slight edge to Christian Bale when it comes to smarts and detective skill. And you know, those are really the big categories that I have to go over. Like, I went over versatility, I went over smarts and strength and speed and durability. You know, when it comes, I don't know, like reflexes, again, that kind of goes hand in hand with speed. Endurance, you know, that's a bit hard to say because, you know, Ben Affleck, you know, when he was being like, I know there was a dream, but when he was like being taught, actually it was a dream, I shouldn't include that, but you know, like Ben Affleck, he's extremely fast, and when it comes to yeah, he's extremely fast, and he seems to be able to like do it without tiring, whereas again, like when it comes to stamina, you know, Michael Keaton fell several stories, and when it comes to Christian Bale, he can fight for a while, but he does seem to get tired a lot more often than the other two do, so that's obviously a disadvantage right there that he has. And when it comes to stealth, it's hard to say. You know, as we've seen Ben Affleck, you know, he can like actually like, I don't know, like stand in like a corner of the room and then like move very quickly, so he is stealthy, and again, it just emphasizes that he's extremely fast. But again, like Michael Keaton seems to focus more on like his strategy, seems to focus more on fear and stealth, and Ben Affleck, I believe, sorry, not Ben Affleck, Christian Bale, I believe you've seen him do some stealthy stuff, but again, he's more of just like a street fighter, you know, someone who fights, yeah, just someone who fights. So, yeah, we haven't seen him do as much stealth, but between Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck, I don't really know who to give it to, and it probably wouldn't affect that much in the fight. So, yeah, I really believe that those are really the only categories that I need to go over for these characters. Now, trying to figure out who would win. Now, if some of you haven't figured it out by now, I do not believe that Christian Bale is going to win this fight. And as soon as I heard the idea of this fight, I already knew that Christian Bale wasn't going to win. And that's because the director, Christopher Nolan, he said that the Dark Knight movies are supposed to be like what-if scenarios if Batman actually existed in our world. He's not supposed to be able to compete with characters like Superman and Wonder Woman, or like have like such superpowers, like being able to fight characters like Clayface or anything like that, or Bane on drugs, steroids, you know, because he's supposed to be able to It's supposed to be realistic, and that's why we don't have Joker falling into acid unlike the other two Jokers. We have a Joker that's like just born a maniac and does his own makeup, you know? It's supposed to be as realistic. And when you have a more realistic Batman, that's cool, and it does make for some great movies, but it's just, it doesn't stack, he can't stack up to other Batmen, you know, especially the comics Batman, who has like a ton of gadgets with him and who's like done incredible things, but even with just these two Batmen, it just doesn't stack up. And while, you could say that Michael Keaton's universe is also a bit more grounded than the DCEU, and while I would agree with that, it doesn't seem to be nearly as grounded as the Christian Bale universe, you know, like the Christopher Nolan universe. So obviously, because he's still Batman and he still has the essence of the character, he is going to put up a good fight, but because he just doesn't have the durability or the versatility or anything like that, or even the strength and speed to compete with Ben Affleck, I just personally don't feel that Christian Bale has the advantages necessary to win this fight. As I've said, he does seem to be maybe a bit smarter, but even that's a bit debatable. And just in the long run, I don't see Christian Bale overpowering both of them. Now, this is honestly so tough, trying to figure out who would win between Ben Affleck and Michael Keaton. Like, obviously, Ben Affleck has only had one movie, and if I say that, like, Michael Keaton would win, I'm probably just gonna see, like, another movie, in the DCEU, and I'm gonna think, oh, snap, you know, like, he can do this, you know, like, oh, man, I'm gonna have to redo the video. And by the way, if some of you have been around for a while and you know that I did the Spider-Man Battle Royale, I may actually end up doing, a rematch or something, because, as we've seen, Tom Holland can, like, hold two pieces of a freaking ship together, you know. And even just the fact that he's like able to stand up against super powered characters like Winter Soldier and Falcon, I may want to redo that at one point, because I probably underestimated Tom Holland, though I might want to wait until Spider-Man Homecoming comes out. I might not end up making that video, who knows, I just thought I might as well bring it up. But the point still stands that it's like, if I think, oh my god, you know, like, Ben Affleck Batman can do this, well, like, yeah, you know, like, and obviously there's not going to be any more material for the Michael Keaton Batman. And obviously, like, each of them have two big advantages over the other. Michael Keaton has, versatility and durability, a kind of slight edge in durability, and then we have, Ben Affleck, who has the advantages in strength, like good old strength and speed. But who would win between the two? This is extremely tough, and I'm not even sure if I've even really made my decision before this, before I started recording. But anyway, I have to go with my gut, and honestly, I think Ben Affleck would win. It's a very tough fight, but I do think that Ben Affleck would win. Simply, I think the biggest thing that's putting Ben Affleck at the top for me is speed. Like I said, he's going extremely fast between the other opponents, and this is a battle royale where he can do the exact same thing and not get hit as much as the others. And even though Michael Keaton does have a lot of stamina and does have like durability, which is probably something that he wouldn't be able to Ben Affleck wouldn't be able to get through that easily. You know, he doesn't really have to get through the suit to kill him, he just has to tire him out long enough for him to, like, die of exhaustion, if that makes sense. And again, it would take a really long time to do that, but I personally feel that with the strength that he has and with the speed that he has, you know, I just don't feel that even with the other gadgets that Michael Keaton has, I don't feel like he'd be able to stand up to Ben Affleck. You know, just like when it comes to strength and speed, he'd be hitting him extremely fast. And again, Michael Keaton is probably the slowest of all three Batmen, because we haven't even seen him do a lot of speed feats or anything like that. Even when he's using the grapple gun and like going out like that smoke thing, he's going extremely slow, and he doesn't do a lot of fighting. And this is a guy who's been fighting for an extremely long period of time. So when it comes to strength and speed, you know, obviously Ben Affleck takes it, and it's going to be really hard for him to stand up, especially if it's like close to, you know, like a very like close encounter, you know, like when they're close together. When it comes to like versatility, yes, he does have a lot of gadgets with him, but personally I feel that Ben Affleck might be able to dodge a lot of them. And even if like he tries to go for his head, you know, again, it has the titanium understructure that he's not going to be able to get through. And again, like, even though the gray area of the suit is not as durable, it's still heavily padded, and at the very least it would allow him to power through whatever Michael Keaton is throwing at him. And, you know, again, with durability, that is the biggest thing that might make me want to lean more towards Michael Keaton. But even so, you know, like Ben Affleck Ben Affleck's universe, again, the DCEU, he's supposed to be powerful enough to be able to, like, be on the same level as Batman and, sorry, as Wonder Woman and Superman. Maybe not to the exact same level, because obviously he doesn't have, like, the strength of Superman. But the point is, he needs to be able to be, like strong enough to stand a chance against Superman. And again, that was with the suit, but the point still stands. He's in the DCEU where it's a lot more like the comics. And because of that, while he hasn't done a lot of that stuff yet, I feel he's going to show a lot more feats later on. And just because I already feel that it's extremely close, I feel that just because there's going to be more stuff for Ben Affleck Batman and not more stuff for Michael Keaton, it's just going to become more and more evident. And again, just because of the whole strength and speed, even with the versatility that Michael Keaton has, it's going to be really hard for him to use any of it, because Ben Affleck's just going to be all up in his business. You know, he's just going to be punching him extremely fast. And again, because this is a battle royale and he's going to be going extremely quickly between the two, he's going to be taking less damage. Because I do believe the final fight would probably be between Michael Keaton and Ben Affleck, and he's going to be better for the final fight. And with the strength and speed advantages, I feel he's going to completely overpower him. So, in my opinion, the winner is Ben Affleck Batman. So guys, I really hope you enjoyed this episode. I know that I did. I was looking forward to this episode, and you know, it is very close. If you guys feel that that Michael Keaton Batman would win, heck, if you feel that Christian Bale Batman would win, just don't be a fanboy over it. But you know, if you feel that either of those two would win, tell me in the comments below. If you think that Ben Affleck Batman would win for any reason that I missed, you know, also tell me in the comments below. If you did enjoy this episode, please give me a like, comment down below everything I said before, maybe other fights you'd like to see me do for Season 7, and you know, I would always appreciate a subscription. It means a lot. It really does help me out. I would love to have you guys along for the ride to 300 subscribers if I could even make it, although we are approaching 250, which is a quarter of 1,000, which I am really excited for. Now, the thing that I said at the very beginning that I want you to stay until the end for, this is the mid-season finale, and I do believe I do need to take a bit of a break, just because, like I said in Blue Beetle versus Generator X, life is slapping me in the face right now. I have so much stuff going on, and honestly, it is really hard to keep doing these videos. You know, like, again, like, just, a lot of it's just trying to memorize information and sit down and cut out time, but even that is starting to become really tough. So I'm going to be taking a bit of a break, not too long, but I feel like this is a good place to take a bit of a break. You know, it was just the mid-season finale, but I do hope you guys enjoy this series, because that means that I know, like, I can keep making more, and I know, you know, I know that as, yes, sorry, I was just about to say the same thing, but yeah, so I know that if you guys enjoy it, I know that I need to keep making more. It makes me want to keep making more. So yeah, the next episode is Hulk versus Flash, and I am really excited for that one. And then obviously we have the rest of the series, the rest of the season of like Season 6. So I really hope you guys are excited for that. Again, I don't know how quickly that's going to be coming out, but just know that it's not going to be coming out like immediately or even like in a week or 2 weeks. It might be coming out later than that. So I do need to take a tiny bit of a break. I am sorry about that. I might see if I'm going to be able to fit in maybe some other uploads that don't take as much time. But yeah, so I just wanted to let you guys know where I'm at right now. I just maybe want to get ahead on a few things, and you know, I just need, again, life is slapping me in the face. I just really need a break right now and need to deal with some other stuff in my life, you know, just other stuff. If any of you have a life, you know what I mean. But anyway, I do really hope you enjoyed this episode, and again, comment on everything I said before, like, subscribe if you could, again, it would really help me out. Next time is Hulk versus Flash, and yeah, I guess I'll see you in the next video. Peace.